Yeah, it's something that people like fundamentally understand but try to reject because it's hard. Is relationships matter, and so we are not a PR agency. We don't have relationships in our back pocket. So I can't just call the Wall Street Journal newsroom for you and say, "Hey, feature this person." Like we don't have that. That's why you pay an agency a lot of money. It's because they might have that access. We don't, but we do know how to get that access, how to get you in there. It's reaching out to journalists with a story that they care about for an audience, and know their audience. You've done the research on them as a writer and what they talk about, and you're offering your expertise or things that can actually help them and giving them a real story pitch. It's not just, hey, here's a advertising thing, write about my company because I want to like basically sell more stuff. Like no, it's about telling a story, bringing them real insights and value to their audience. That kind of relationship building with a journalist will do the dividends over time. I can't tell you how often we hear that I reached out to so and so at the Wall Street Journal, and they got back to me and said, "This is interesting, but I'm not really writing the story right now, but thank you." And then kind of crickets, and 6 months
Yep.
later, 4 months later, they get an email back like, "Hey, actually, I'm writing a story about this topic."
Welcome to the AI Marketing Navigator, where we simplify AI marketing to keep you ahead of the curve. Brought to you by Digital Pop, delivering AI marketing automation so your small business thrives. Here's your host, Alex Carlson.
Right. So much gold there. Thank you so much, John. So cover your bases as far as all the old SEO practices go. There is definitely overlap between the old and the new, the SEO and the LEO. And then what I'm also hearing is this shift from an almost gameable system to a meritocracy. So it's so much useful information there. Cover your bases, but become that thought leader. It's almost like take it to the next level and find the way to win with the battle for that mind share and that discussion share. And what better way to do that than figuring out where you are in that battle with some tool and using something like PR to accomplish the rest and to really push yourself over the finish line towards the thought leadership role. Wherever that best story is being told, wherever that definitive answer is being, make sure you're at least there in some respect or some way. Let's move on to something that we talk a lot about on this show as well when it comes to AI, using AI not as a replacement, but as an assistant, which is really what your philosophy seems to be, AI assistant, but human driven rather than full automation. In a world where everyone's talking about AI replacing jobs, in a world where PR can now be accomplished by yourself using AI, how much human oversight do we need to have? Why do you think the human element is still crucial? Let's just do it in the field of PR. Let's focus on PR. Why is human involvement still so important?
So first of all, I think everybody in this podcast that's listening right now can relate to the spam messages you get in LinkedIn, in your email, and anywhere else. Like you can tell immediately if an AI spammer wrote this email. Now some of them are getting better and better, but like I'm telling you, like it is
Yep.
very noticeable and easy to spot the spam coming at you. So what can you do about that? Like we as a company, as a group, like feel very strongly that like you should have a human touch too, especially when you talk about PR, the PR outreach. So
Mhm.
is our system like built in with AI in mind? Of course. Our AI search engine helps you find and build the best media list of context to reach out to on your topic. That's a great use of AI. AI is going to kind of find for you who's written what about this topic, who would be most relevant for you to reach out to based on the things they've written about, based on who they are, what the outlets they write for, all that kind of stuff. AI, great use case for kind of helping assist you to build your media list. Great. Then when you get to like what should my narrative be to this group? Like what should I be thinking about? What should my pitch hook be? How should I like think about my pitch to this group? Great. You give some information to our AI. Our AI will give you feedback on your narrative. Is this the right story to tell to this audience? Is it going to work? What would the hook be? Like, do you agree? Like, you can go back and forth and learn all about that. Again, AI assisting you in telling your story, but you're still like the one entering your story. And then it
Absolutely.
goes to actually writing emails and writing pitches to these journalists. Our AI can help you kind of think through, hey, your email has too many like words in it, cut it shorter. They don't have enough. They don't have the attention span to read that long email, or too many sentences per paragraph, or don't use these words. Like these get caught in spam filters. Like all that stuff, our AI is helping you do, and it can help you craft like a structure to your email too. Like, hey, focus on this. Like then do this. Have a call to action. Like all that kind of fun stuff. But ultimately, you, the human, are still there, making sure that what is being written is like right, correct. You edit things, you change things. It's all there for you to like kind of do. So for us, that adds a layer of complexity. Like as a user, you can't just click just reach out into your domain and click go and just have it start spamming journalists. Like we don't let that happen. That's a design decision. We could build that tomorrow. It'd be easy. Like we don't want that to be the case because it doesn't work.
Right.
Frankly, people see through it and it gets caught in spam filters and you're not going to get any results from that. For us, we're trying to see how can AI make you more efficient. So instead of spending 20 hours a week, you spend, I don't know, 1 to 2 hours a week. do the exact same output because our AI helped you save so much time. And then you are still the one reaching out to these journalists, and you're reaching out to, 10, 15 highly targeted journalists with personalized messaging because you really have done your homework and research on it with AI to help you do that. That is the way that our customers are having success. Because again, they can send out 1,000 emails or 10. I promise you the 10 they send with us is going to get the better results than 1,000 through a spamming tool.
Amazing. Let's. I want to dive in on one particular thing you talked about, which is the level of personalization and the actual human level of personalization that you can do. You've talked about kind of the psychological, the very human aspects of pitching to someone from both perspectives. What are those key psychological principles that can make PR outreach successful? How do you really tap into what a journalist maybe wants to hear, or what's a compelling pitch when it comes down to psychological human elements?
Yeah, it's something that people like fundamentally understand but try to reject because it's hard. Is relationships matter, and so we are not a PR agency. We don't have relationships in our back pocket. So I can't just call the Wall Street Journal newsroom for you and say, "Hey, feature this person." Like we don't have that. That's why you pay an agency a lot of money because they might have that access. We don't, but we do know how to get that access, how to get you in there. It's reaching out to journalists with a story that they care about for an audience, and know their audience. You've done the research on them as a writer and what they talk about, and you're offering your expertise or things that can actually help them and giving them a real story pitch. It's not just, hey, here's a advertising thing, write about my company because I want to basically sell more stuff. Like no, it's about telling a story, bringing them real insights and value to their audience. That kind of relationship building with a journalist will do the dividends over time. I can't tell you how often we hear that I reached out to so and so at the Wall Street Journal, and they got back to me and said, "This is interesting, but I'm not really writing the story right now, but thank you." And then kind of crickets, and 6 months
Yep.
later, 4 months later, they get an email back like, "Hey, actually, I'm writing a story about this topic. Could you comment on this?" And even if it's not even your area, you say, "Actually, that's not my area of expertise, but I actually have a friend in the industry that does that. Let me connect you to that person." Then you connect to that person. That person gets featured. You just gave your spot in the Wall Street Journal story to somebody else, but you knew you weren't the expert on that topic, so it's okay. Again, I'm telling you, you do that enough times. A few months later, they're going to come back to you, and it is going to be your time, and you're going to get that phone call because you are the one helping them. I'm not going to say journalists are lazy, but they rely on their sources. They rely on these people to help them kind of guide these conversations, to guide these stories. And so being front of center, being top of mind for them is so important. So that doesn't mean email them once a week, offering your help. That's also not going to get you very far. They're going to hate that too. But
Yep.
kind of relationship building over time is really, really important. So you're pitching your story, they're not interested in it. Fine. Don't send them 100 follow-up emails. Wait a month or two, find a new way to kind of get to them. And then again, pitch them on a different story or something else. That is kind of the way to do it. That is not easy, and it doesn't. If you have a press release coming out tomorrow, it's not going to help you for tomorrow's press release. But I
Yep.
promise you that relationship building over time will really pay dividends, and that's the best piece of advice I can give. That is the human element of things. Humans are still writing these stories for the most part, until people get caught doing it with AI, Sports Illustrated. But anyway, you can really make sure that you are kind of focusing in on the human element of these journalists and these writers, and offering them advice, offering them help, offering them what you can do for them, not just
Exactly.
give me what I want.
Exactly. That's exactly what I was gonna say. What I'm hearing was to look at it purely analytical, the chain of incentives from reader to journalist, from client to their customer, whatever it might be, the human element, the human need to be helped, or what we need. And again, to maybe not be so cynical about it, not what we need, but what we need help with, and to offer that help, to make yourself available, is really the best way to grow a business, in my opinion, is just be helpful. So keep that in mind, navigators. To continue the conversation on building the authority and the thought leadership, we've talked about what PR can do, how PR can do that. What about someone who maybe doesn't have the time? What about other platforms from PR, the typical platforms that you've written about, like Reddit or Quora or LinkedIn, these digital platforms that we so often use to also try and send our message out there into the world? Medium, maybe. The tools that we would use to maybe see a result on chat rank. How do you build authentic authority? And I think I can guess where we might go with this, but how do you build that authority on those platforms? Is it the same as building the PR? Is it about the incentives again? Can you give us some insight into the digital platforms as well?
Yeah, the best piece of advice I can give to your audience is just do it. Just start somewhere. Doesn't matter what you're doing. Most people just say they get overwhelmed by the idea of the problem and just don't ever do it. They just think about it, but they never actually go for it. Here's what I'll say: go write a LinkedIn post that you believe to be true, that is authoritative, has good information, and you feel it could be useful to other people. and just put it out there. And maybe you get 0 likes, and who cares? Because basically the content is out there, and you've now kind of put out there like, here's what we're doing, here's what we're building, here's what I think about some situation, here's why like this brand does well, like whatever it might be. Again, just kind of put the content out there. Go find the right Reddit subs, and go find the right Reddit threads, and find like the right conversations, and start like, hey, chime in on things like, hey, I've used this brand, I've used this tool. If it's your own company, like this is my company. Like, don't hide it. Like, don't try to like, don't be super promotional, but say like, I do this. This is what we do really well. This is why it matters. Like that kind of stuff really does work. Write a Medium post. Like I said, like these are the kind of things that really can like be effective. Now, I'm not saying you're going to immediately rank to number 1 on like one single like LinkedIn post, but you'd be surprised at how often the AI models are looking and scrolling and scraping like the LinkedIn's, the Facebook message, like YouTube comments, like TikTok comments, like these places like you'd never expect to like get results from, like Yelp reviews, TripAdvisor, G2. These are all things like people really like these AI models really care about when it comes to ranking. So like there is a strategy to it. There is a like a process to it. We have plenty of stuff out there. We have like some blog posts I've written about this topic as well. Feel free to check that out on the Chat Rank blog. But like basically, this is something anybody can do. It doesn't cost you any money. It just takes some time, some ideas, it's like some thought into writing these. And then in addition to that, like start a blog, like on your company website preferably, but just like start writing content. Like again, maybe you get 1 reader. Like who cares? Like just put it out there and start producing content, and pretty soon you'll realize like you get the hang of it, you get pretty good at it, you start having a calendar, you put together like once a week I'm going to write a blog post. You'd be surprised how much that spirals and that turns into like really good content over time that can really help you win. And so like most of our customers just feel overwhelmed by the problem, and I get it. It really is scary to like think about, oh, I have to write 100 blog posts. It's like, no, you have to write 1. And then tomorrow you write another one, and then next week you write another one, and you kind of continue on that path. But so for us, and like the best piece of advice I can give is they all matter. So yes, 100 blog posts is better than 1, but start with 1, and then number 2, then number 3, and continue on from there.
Love it. Just do it because it's going to take time. SEO took time. LEO is probably going to take time. And on that train of thought, let's talk about convincing people of the value of the ROI and that type of marketing, the marketing that takes time. How do you prove ROI to, say, a skeptical CEO who, just like you had to convince that SEO was a thing, that LEO is the next wave? And what does that look like? How do you convince people of the value of getting out there and creating that content?
Yeah, so I mean, first of all, I can say it works for us. Like the best part, the best sales pitch we have in our pitches is we use this for ourselves. We built this for ourselves. It works, and then we spun it out to give it to others. Like it's we didn't just build like an experiment. We didn't just build a tool because again, there's a sexy space, which now it is, and there's 1,000 tools coming out to try to compete with us. We've been doing this for a while because it does work. We built a tool that really does work. So that's us. That's anecdotal. People might believe us or not. We didn't have tons of case studies and things on our website that show people like this really does work. So first of all, like I can vouch that if you follow our advice and take our advice, you will be able to rank better over time and kind of get your visibility up. Like that our tactics and our what we're providing to you really does work over time. So I'd say like that's like number 1. But the value of it really is like track it. Like see if you are getting leads and new like things coming in from these AI models. So for example, we changed our intake form when somebody comes in and signs up for it. Like, how did you hear about us? We added like ChatGPT, the AI models, like see, and people are now selecting that as like that's how they found us. And so as simple as like when people sign up for a demo on your website, people sign up for your newsletter, like how did you find us? Like from like the AI models. It's a really great way to kind of to track that as well. We do integrate with Google Analytics in our platforms. You can see like the UTM. So if people are clicking on your site and landing there from ChatGPT, you can see that directly. You can kind of see all that fun stuff. So you can like there are ways to kind of track and measure your like growth. But again, nobody cares about ranking if you just rank better. So the biggest question we get from like CEOs and like executives is like, well, why should I care? It's like the idea of like traffic and people landing on your website from traditional search, it's not going away tomorrow, but it is like starting to move and shift towards other places. And so we talk to clients all the time, but like their executive team will be like, I need to maintain my traffic. I need to grow my traffic. It's like, I don't think you're going to grow your traffic. I don't think you're going to maintain your traffic. I think what you need to be thinking about is, can I maintain my revenue and grow my revenue? Because if you think about that, then yes, you can absolutely like by using tools like ChatRank and our like methodologies, you can grow your exposure, grow your visibility. Maybe it's not directly, you don't see it immediately as like a result of that because they don't write that I saw you on ChatGPT, but like they're doing it. Like I can promise you, your customers are there searching for you. And so overall, I'd say like it's tough. Things are changing right now, and it's happening so fast. Like executives, especially, are kind of like worried about it. This is actually why we very rarely do it, but when we do, we kind of go in head first. Is like we do like special projects or consulting gigs for like these kinds of people because frankly, they just kind of want to know that this is going to work. And so we'll do that on the basically to prove that like this can work, and like we show them like kind of the value of this over time. But it really does like it does take some convincing because frankly, like I get it, like things are changing and you might not be understanding of this new world of how people are finding information, but
Mhm.
like think about how you buy now. Like, is it different than it was a year ago? It definitely is. And so,
Yeah,
I mean, all of us have those stories and examples, but like that's kind of like how you should be thinking about things. Like, and frankly, like the smarter companies are doing it.
yeah, absolutely. It just like SEO to LEO, it doesn't require a complete shift of knowledge that being where people are talking, being where the conversation is had, being that thought leader is not going away. The conversation is just taking a different track. And so again, lots of value there to be had. So thank you so much. Let's talk a little bit more about the one thing I always kind of like to get into is what industry predictions and industry evolution. If you were to look ahead maybe 2 to 3 years, how do you see the PR industry evolving? What should professionals be preparing for? Do we need to maybe take it as far as preparing for the day where we no longer have human journalists and it's just AI journalists? At that point, is PR even important? Uh, I don't know. Tell us what you think the future of PR looks like, maybe in the next 2 to 3 years, and then maybe 50 years down the line.
I think very much in the next 2 to 3 years, I think what's even become even more important is distinguishing human content and human like news from AI. And so I don't know if you've noticed this. I know people that have like gone into Spotify and like found a new artist, be like, oh, I love this new artist. And I'm like, you know, that's AI, right? Like that's not even a person. Like people are like getting duped all the time. And so like I think it's really, really important. And this is this is an ethical question as well that I'm not going to dive into, but like overall, understanding like is a human another person but like thinking about this problem, this idea, and writing about it, talking about it, posting about it, whatever it might be. So
Yeah,
I think overall, in the next like in the short term, the next like 2 to 5 years, like just distinguishing what is real human driven content and human driven ideas versus like AI is valuable. Now, you can debate me on whether you prefer AI news or human news. You can say that hey, AI might be less biased, or like whatever you might think. Like again, I'm not going to get into the ethical debates here,
yeah,
but ultimately, what I think is like really important is like knowing that you are a human, talking to other human will always matter. I really do think that. And so like for us, like right now, that is super important to just make sure that you know, like, hey, this is earned media written by a human. Like the Google algorithm knows that, by the way. They know when you're buying links. They know when you're buying like sponsored posts into places. They can tell all these things. Like it's not going to give you the credit you might think. And the AI models the same way. They get this. Like they understand like what's real and what's kind of like less real. So if you want to pump out 100 blog posts with like AI writing all of them like very like quickly, like they're going to pick up on that. And you might, like I said, you might trick them for a day or two, but they're going to catch on to it. It's going to be
mhm,
like, you're going to get out of it. Like it does require human intervention, human work here as well. And so again, that might change in 50 years. I don't know. Like I can't really like pretend to predict like what's going to happen in 50 years, but I can say in the next 2 to 5, essentially like the idea of it being human generated, human thought, and like that is going to be even more important. And so kind of distinguishing that, getting that earned media that you can't buy and you can't win with AI is super important. That's always going to matter for our customers. And that's why they really are investing into this and why it is such a complementary thing between PR and media mentions by, again, other humans and what that means for like their existing content, creating content, and their brand as a whole going forward with the AI models.
love it. And so, human verification, the future of not only PR, but the short-term future of all transactions that I can even imagine is verifying if you're talking to AI or you're talking to a human. So love that there. Last question I have for you as we're wrapping up our conversation, and one that I try and get across to every guest is if the AI marketing navigators out there could take one thing away from this conversation, whether it's about PR, whether it's about AI, whether it's about business philosophy, what would you have that piece of information be?
I kind of alluded to this earlier, but I'll just mention it again. Like, just get started. Just like just get going. People are very scared to like just try it. I can't tell you. I don't want to embarrass anybody. I won't name any names, but like I can tell you how many customers have reached out to me. They've been using our tool for a few weeks. You know, and they say, "Hey, I haven't sent any pitches yet." And they're like, "Why? We already talked. Like, you got a great story. Like, get it out there." She's like, I can't do it. Will you get on the Zoom call with me and like actually like help me send the first email?" I was like, "Sure." So we get on the call and like she just has everything drafted. It's all I was like, this is perfect. Just click send. And like
Yeah.
she clicked send. Like, but she needed me to get on the call with her to physically be there for her to like click send for that first pitch to a journalist. It's like it's hard. It's like it's scary. Like, what if I mess up? It's like it doesn't matter. Like just get out there, send those email out to the journalist, write that blog post, put the LinkedIn post out there, start commenting on Reddit, start commenting on Quora, like get yourself out there as a brand And I promise you, like, yeah, you're not going to rank overnight from like one LinkedIn post, but you'd be surprised. One really strong blog post. We've had customers like with one really strong blog post go from 0% visibility in a core topic of theirs to 70%, literally overnight with one blog post. Like it really can be that effective if done well. And so for us, like it's really just about trying it, getting out there, do it, like run it a few times, like see what's happening, and obviously adjust, react, adapt, like use tools like ours if you want to. If not, again, like you can do it. You don't need tools to do this. It's really just about kind of like thinking through how your brand's out there, how the brand's being perceived by both humans and the AI, and making sure that you are kind of on top of those things. The best piece of advice I can give, just get started and try it.
Just do it. You can just do things. I've been telling myself that for the last year since I dove full time into the AI Marketing Navigator and AI. You can just do things. So I love that so much. And I lied. I have one more question to you. Is it true that you are trying to systematically visit all 30 MLB stadiums? Is that true?
So I actually have been to all 30 MLB stadiums, but
Nailed it.
now I at one point held that record, and now I've not because Atlanta and Texas have both opened up new stadiums since I've been there. So I have to get back to Arlington, I have to get back to Atlanta. But at one point, was able to say that I've been to all 30 MLB stadiums.
Amazing.
It was a personal goal of mine. I'm a huge baseball fan. I love it. Like I'm just a big baseball nerd. So it was my data science like nerdy background. I loved like baseball statistics. My
Love
friends
it.
growing up still make fun of me for like reading like baseball prospectus every summer. I like read like the stats book to like learn like more about like the stats. So anyway, after I graduated college, went on like a fun road trip and just like we knocked out I think what 13 or 14 like we did a cross country road trip. Got my buddy Jeep and knocked out like I think 14 stadiums in a month, and then kind of built from there and like kind of grew it. And then over time, yeah, did get all 30. So
Amazing.
exciting stuff. I do love baseball. I've been to a lot more that are now defunct stadiums too.
Sure.
But yeah, so I still need to get back to Atlanta and Texas. But yes, I have been to all 30 MLB cities. Let's put it that way.
Amazing. That's that. Love that. So, John, can't thank you enough for all of the time today, the value. I know that there are just a bunch of gold nuggets and lots of lessons to be learned for our navigators there. So, thank you so much for your time, John. And maybe someday in the future we can have you back on the show.
Amazing. Thanks very much. I'd love to be back.
Awesome. Take care, John. Have a great one.
You too, Alex.
Thanks for listening to the AI Marketing Navigator. Ready to simplify your own marketing automation? Digital Pop helps make it happen so your small business can scale your marketing fast. Learn more at thedigitalpop.com.